Hey, Catherine. Hey, Sue. You're at the Golden Gate Bridge, huh?
Hello, that's right. Hey, hey,
It's good to see you.
that's everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hello. I finally turned the sound on my computer. Now I can even hear you. You probably were talking before, maybe, but
Oh, I
now I
was.
can hear.
I gave you the longest salutation. I gave you a paragraphs long.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh, it's good to see you, Catherine.
Good to see you too. How's your Thursday coming?
Oh, my Thursday's good. It's good. Yeah, I got to teach some ukuleles to my little kiddos at the school I work at, so that was fun. Now I get to do.
Is it run as a club or how does it work there? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of their after school program. It's
Right.
piggybacked to, an after school program, so it's sort of like they get electives in their after school program. Yeah,
Neat.
yeah. How's your Thursday so far?
I have tomorrow off, so I'm having a wonderful Thursday. And we're like end of February. No, we're in March now. It's like the apathy in middle school right now is just like, ooh, it's like feels like wading through it. So there is definitely that going on.
Yeah.
But I played ukulele today with my as a second year Spanish students, so eighth graders. And they were like, we want to sing a love song. And I'm like, we haven't really practiced a love song, but they all know that what's it called? Like, ay, canta y no llores. And like it was easy to put it down with chords. So we did the chorus a few times. And they were like, yeah, this is a love song. So that was fun.
It's nice thinking on your feet. Nice being, open to the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, if you have good chords for it, maybe you can share it with us or send me an email and we can look at it in our class. You never know, it might come in handy for somebody else too.
Somebody else needs a love song too.
Anybody else have something they want to share from this last week? I know if you're joining us, we're just talking. Catherine was just sharing a little bit about some ukulele victories and with her middle schoolers. Um, how about you guys? Anybody else have something they want to share? What
Not
was
not a victory, but I just had to run quickly. My grandsons were on doing FaceTimes. I ran and said hi to them real quick. But that's a
nice?
big highlight if I ever get a chance at them. I'm back.
We're not as magnetic or charismatic, I imagine, as the grandbabies, but but we'll be here to FaceTime to Zoom with you for the next hour. I get that. Got to get that FaceTime, however you can get it. Um, how's everybody else doing? Anybody have something else they want to share? Okay, cool. Looks good. Well, it's good to see everybody. I don't see Sue and Paul, so they're usually pretty on top of it. I wonder if they maybe have some grandparents that are keeping them this fine Thursday night. Everybody, welcome to our folk pop and rock, um, guitars in the classroom song PD. Um, cool. I think we should just get right into it. I see Angie's already strumming. Some of you guys are all ready to go. Who's been practicing? I just want to know. You're not in trouble if you haven't been, but who's been practicing?
A little bit.
Oh, nice. Good. Okay, so hopefully there's something in these songs that that one or two of those songs that you're interested in, or even looking ahead at, or even that keep you coming back.
We'll try tonight. I don't know.
Any questions about Any questions about anything in that songbook or anything about chords? By the way, we're going to start with chords today. We're going to look at a couple of chords because they're the keys to moving forward. But anybody have a question? Don't forget, Miriam. I remember we have a special request this week. But anybody else have any
Yeah,
questions?
just tuning up.
Cool.
I'm just tuning up real quick.
I don't have a question, but my fingers are still hurting. My fingertips, like yeah, it's like it takes a lot of getting used to, but yeah, it's fun just trying to practice how to change chords, and it's hard. It's hard. But I'm practicing.
Yeah. And that's, you know, you just have to, I don't want to be like dysfunctional about it, but you have to kind of play through the pain.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I say that only because I know from experience that it's not gonna hurt. Before you
Yeah.
know it, it's not gonna hurt on your. But as we add some of these new chords, there might be a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of pain.
I was also gonna say, having your nails as short as possible really helps.
No, not cutting them.
Thank you for that, Angie. That is
Too
true.
pretty. Too pretty.
Nobody wants to hear that, but it's true, especially for this. You see, you know, you can have your fingernails as long as you want on your right hand or your strumming hand, which is I keep my nails long, and I take like a vitamin to keep them strong because I keep them longer to be able to play guitar, and to be able to get that sound with this hand. But with this hand, if you are fretting a lot of chords, you do want to keep it short. But if you can't, if you got to have nice nails, I understand. You find a workaround. One thing that I do, and this is, you guys feel free to use this as you're encouraging the students in your life or people in your life through this transition period when they're first starting to play. Like this afternoon, we're doing our strumming. We're strumming with first graders. We have open chord. Let me get my open C ukulele. We're doing open chords, and then we're pressing down on our pointer fingers, and you know we're working on it. We're really pressing hard, and then doing off, and doing a song with it, and then on. And invariably, somebody's gonna be uncomfortable. Somebody's gonna complain, and I always say, I know. You can really feel it, can't you? And I show them my finger. You can't really see it with my lighting here, but I show them the line across my pointer finger, and I say, look, has anybody else got one of these? And I just try to normalize it for them. Like, anybody else have one of these lines? I'm like, I got one too. They're like, oh my God, I got one too. Some kids are blowing on their fingers, and I just say, in a couple weeks, you aren't even gonna feel it. It'll become normal for you to push down with that finger. And so you guys feel free to use that. Patty and Kristen have some good tips. I think you guys might have seen Patty. There you go. If you're looking at Patty, there we go. You can see her beautiful bionic finger.
They're like rubber. They're like little rubber, and they have different sizes. You could buy a package of them from Amazon. They're very cheap. You get like 50 of them. And they help because my fingers, they are not developing calluses at all. I have to do finger pricks. So that doesn't help either.
Yeah. I get that too, yeah. But the beautiful thing about those is you can keep your beautiful nails. And it looks like they even protect your nails too. If you were, playing like a harder string, sometimes those nails could get chipped or get brittle from the strings, but I like those. If you have a link, Patty, you can email it to me. Like, I know we can find them on Amazon, but if you have like what they're called or the brand, email it to me and I'll share it with the group. Cool. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. All right, now we've talked about it. Let's look at some chords. Here's like the stick. We're gonna look at chords, and then the carrot is after you look at chords, we'll do an a cappella song of Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. We're going to the moon. But before we get there, let's take a look at some chords. And I know we have folks that are in open tuning tonight. And there's also some folks standard. So I'm going to look at both ways to do this. And we're going to be focusing on our D chord. And we're going to be focusing on E minor for right now. We might even take a little sneak peek and look at A, because there's a really cool song that uses it. Question for you all: who has practiced, or just curious, who's practiced and feels like kind of okay with D, that D major chord? Any kind of okay? Nice. Who's kind of okay with E minor? A few people, not as many. Okay, cool. Well, that's what we're going to spend our first 5 minutes on, is D and A minor. Sharing my screen with you guys now. First, I'm going to pull up our open C tuning uke chords. Everybody see that all right? Give me a thumbs up just to let me know it's coming through. Thank you so much. So we've got our chords. These are fun. If you haven't played around with them, they're totally fun. But I'm not really concerned about, you know, the full F major. I know you know your G7. We got our A minor. There's some other really cool, fun chords on here, but I'm going to go down to E minor. And we'll look at E minor first. E minor in open tuning is actually quite easy. It's just that G7 shape, but you move it down 2 sets of frets. And this is sort of like a cheater E minor. It's not like the prettiest or the purest, but I put it there because it works. I actually can hear there's like 3 of the same note, but it's okay. That can be my E minor. So if I had to play something like Wagon Wheel, which we were looking at last week briefly, I could actually get to my E minor. I could start by playing my G chord. I know I'm kind of breaking out, but my G chord, which is right here, open tuning folks. I could play my G chord. And for my E minor, I'm just going to throw that ring finger down right next to it. So I'm singing. When I need to get to my E minor, I'm just going to throw that sound down. That E minor shape, I'm also just saying, if you're playing in standard tuning, you can try that same E minor shape. It's also kind of a like what I would call like a little bit of a cheater chord, in that it's not super easy, it's like not, what's the word I'm looking for? A cheater chord. Like it'll work, you know, for E minor. It doesn't sound quite as good as the full chord I'm going to show you in a minute, but it could kind of work and get you through those E minor passages. But that's our E minor. So folks at home in open tuning, you can use that for your E minor. If you don't want to play the E minor, or you can't change as fast, this goes for anybody really, you could always use this G chord, which, take a note if you haven't been playing that yet in open tuning. This is a G chord, not the G7, but the G, which is this shape here. I'm going to scroll down to the next page and we're going to look at E minor for standard tuning. Standard tuning chords. Let's just focus here on the E minor and the G. I'll zoom in a little bit. So, E minor for standard tuning. There's a couple different ways to play it, but the way that I'm teaching you guys is a 3-finger chord that goes across like this. This one's going to make your fingers hurt if you're not used to it, or if you don't have those calluses. This will help build up those calluses. If you look at the E minor and the G major chord, you'll notice there's a similarity there. And they use 2 of the same notes. And so that actually can be useful for us as I'm making this fingering for E minor, if you're playing along with me in standard tuning. Some folks will play the G chord, which is made with, I think of it as like the upside down pyramid or upside down triangle. They'll make their G chord here, and then to play G minor, they might throw their pinky down to get that 4th fret on the 3rd string. Let me show that again. I'm playing my G chord here, where I've got a finger down on the 2nd fret already on the 3rd string, and I just throw my pinky down to make the E minor, to get that 4th fret. That's one way to do it. Another way would just be to take your first 3 fingers and just play it straight across like that. There's another variation on that too that works as well, but I'm not going to worry about it. You guys can find it on the internet. couple different ways to play E minor, but I'm a fan of playing that G shape. You know, if I have to change to E minor, throwing my pinky down to get it. Cool. Any questions about E minor? Or the G for that matter? Just going to look back at the group, give you a chance to unmute or raise a hand if you need to. Cool. If you're stuck and you feel like you can't get the E minor this week, try playing the G in its place. Or if you're stuck and you can't get it, just don't sweat it. Play your open C, play C. It's going to sound just fine. But it is kind of a little bit more of a challenging chord that we're going to see pop up tonight in a few songs. Okay. Next, let's stay here with the standard tuning, folks, because this is pretty easy. Where's my D? Here it is. I'm going to go down, still standard tuning. You'll see, excuse me. You'll see A and D down here. Let's look at the D first because we're going to use that. D is your first 3 fingers, pressed all on the 2nd frets of the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. That's one way to play our D. I think it was last week that Patty pointed out you could just bar your D here, and you could throw your pinky down on the 5th fret. Different fingering, but a little more challenging, so I'm using these 3 fingers. Or if you just want to bar them and kind of mute your last string, you could do that as well. But this 3-finger chord here is our D, and it plays really well with the G major chord we were looking at before, or the G chord, which I think was neighboring just up here. Oh, there it is. That G chord that was the upside down pyramid, upside down triangle. This D plays well with that. And then lastly, we'll see it in a song tonight. We have an A chord. This is an A major chord. I'm going to zoom in here. This is like if you make your F, you know, your easy F from open tuning, or I guess your F major, your F in standard tuning, and you hop your pointer finger over to the 3rd string at the 1st fret and play that. That's going to be your A major. Let me see if I can show it here in the window. So it's 2nd fret, 4th string, 1st fret, 3rd string. Now I know this is a lot of new information, but I just want to kind of show you how we're doing that. That A and that D play really well together, musically speaking. Okay. And then, thank you for being patient, open tuning, folks. Let's just look back at some ways to play this in open tuning. For our D chord, we talked about before, D is just barring at our 2nd fret in open tuning. Our D, we're just going to bar. That means press 1 finger down across all of the strings. So if you're looking at my camera, you'll see me just pressing down here across all the strings at 2nd fret for my D chord. And that'll play really well with our G chord. It'll also play really well with this A major chord I want to look at with you, which, like our standard tuning chord, takes the 2nd fret of the 4th string, 1st fret of the 3rd string, and then you got to throw down your ring finger here on the 2nd fret of the top G string to make that sound just right, to get that A major feeling. But that's how our A major looks. I know it looks like. Looks very similar to how we play our F major, but in A major, our pointer fingers jumped over here to the 1st fret of the 3rd string. Cool. Any questions about these chords? I promise you, you're not going to get them in your fingers right away, but I've got some charts on our sheets that are going to help as we strum through tonight. We'll be strumming through plenty slow to give us all a chance to see and experience these chords. Okay. If there's no questions, then we're going to learn our first song, which is a song you can put your ukuleles down for. Yeah, I can see some of you guys, I just see in the chat, some of you guys are getting your callus workouts, making these new shapes, and that's okay. That's how it is. No pain, no gain. It's not that disordered. The calluses you'll start to build up, or your fingers will start to go numb a little bit. You'll just get better at being able to make those shapes. But like I said, we don't need our ukuleles for our first song. By our popular request for Miriam, I believe, or maybe it was for Pam originally. Who knows? I don't know who it was for originally, but Miriam's keeping me.
It was me. It was me.
Okay. It's for Miriam.
That was the animal song, I think.
Yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
good memory, Miriam. Okay, so you want to do zoom, zoom, zoom. This is just a sweet song. Some of you guys know it. It's kind of like it's like a preschool song. It's even before preschool. It's like a mommy and me, daddy and me, caregiver and me, like a library song for like little kids, groups, like when you're like 1 or 2. I'm gonna strum my open C chord just to find a key for it, and I'm picking off that third open string. I'm gonna start there. We're gonna get our hands together. Mine are cold out here in my garage, so you can rub them together real quick if you need to use them. We're gonna sing like this. I want you to copy me. I don't even think we need to call and response it. I think you guys will get it if you don't know it already. It goes zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Good. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We'll get there very soon. And if you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. This is where you grab your baby, or you have your baby grab your stuffed animal, or you grab your rocket ship and you go in 5, 4, 3, 2. Kristen's got it. 1, and lift off. Good. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Ta-da. Nice. So that's how it goes. When we did it in like the parent participation classes, is like you grab your little toddler or baby and like lift them up when they're still little enough to lift. When I've done this with kids at home, during the pandemic, maybe some early intervention classes, we would get a stuffed animal or we would use something. It makes it fun. Let's do it one more time, just so you can hear it, kind of get it in your memory banks. It goes like this. And zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Zoom, 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 we'll get there very soon. And if you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift off. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Nice. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you for that. Brought back a memory of pushing my youngest on the swing. God, not that long ago, and playing that, catching him and doing like the lift off and pushing him off while singing that song. All right, let's get it back into some strumming. So for our first song tonight, I'd like to maybe start with something a little more challenging and look at a song that uses some of our new chords here. We got some great songs that I think you guys maybe are already playing or going to enjoy playing. But I thought we could start with Wagon Wheel. I know we looked at that last week. I'm going to share my screen. If you don't know this song, you've been living under a rock for the last 15 years, but it's okay. You're going to get it stuck in your head playing with us tonight as I zoom in a little bit. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I did go and write out these chord diagrams, at least at the top, so that we could have a chance to see them if we needed to have them ready. And I just want to remind everybody before we get into it that our whole progression here for Wagon Wheel stays the same. The chord progression stays the same. It's always G, D, E minor, then C, followed by G, D, and C for 2 bars. So if you get lost, or if we try out any of the verses that don't have the chords written underneath them tonight, just remember that it's the progression of the chords you see up at the top, and then the second time around we give you a break and you don't have to play the E minor. And it goes like this. Do a nice little slow tempo, like just so we have some time to change. I'm going to do a down up strum. You can do a down strum or a down up strum wherever you are. And we'll go a 1 and 2 and ready. Just the progression with a G, a D, then our E minor to our C, to our G, D, E minor, C. Try that again with a G to a D, E minor to C, and a G to D to C, and we'll start singing. It goes, I headed down south to the land of the pines, thumbing my way into North Carolina, staring up the road and deep pray to God I see headlights. Gee, I made it down the coast in 17 hours, picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers, and I'm hoping for Raleigh, D.C., my baby tonight. G, so rock me, mama, like the wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like a wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Gee, hey, mama, rock me. Good, guys. All right, I'm going to zoom out. Keeping our same progression, we can look at our verse 2. Sorry for that little pause. With a G. Running from the cold D, up in New England, I was E minor to be a fiddler in an old-time string band. My baby plays the guitar, I pick the banjo now. Back to our G. Oh, the North Country winters D, you're keeping me, getting me now. E minor, lost my money playing poker, so I had to leave. But I, G, ain't turning back to living that old life no more. Back to our chorus now. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. E minor. Rock me, mama, any C way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. G, rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. And I think we'll just end right there for tonight. I guess if I wanted to end it, I'd go back to my G chord. Oh, I see people. I see Stella rubbing her hands. I see folks getting a chance to get your hands, give it a little break, take a breath, stand up and shake it off if you need to. One tip that I like if I'm practicing like this, and I know that I'm going to be in for like a little discomfort with my knuckles or my hands, is I make a cup of tea. So I've got that warm mug, a ceramic mug to just like put my hands around when I need it. That's my tip. And it's a nice little ritual too if you have to like sit down and practice, to have something warm to sip on, but more importantly just to be able to hold that mug. So anybody have a question or a thought or complaint about that chord progression?
No, just a comment that the E minor is new to me, so that's I have to practice that some more. That was the others I'm familiar with, but that's one that I was still, kind of working on.
Yeah. I'm glad. I mean, how do I say it? The E minor just sucks. And even if you play for years and years and years, the E minor is still going to suck. And there's going to be ways that you learn to play it in standard tuning that like make it easier compared to some of the other chords, but it's really like one of those chords that's it's just the most upsetting chord.
I love it compared to regular E, whatever you call that. E major. I hate E. It stops me from playing so many songs.
I understand that too. The regular E is a bear too. Some of these chords just are not fun to play on the ukulele. And Angie's talking about the regular E. Are you talking about the one with the big long stretch? Yeah, I know the one. We'll leave that. I don't want to scare anybody off. So the E minor is kind of a bear, but I do want you to have it because it does seem to pop up in a lot of these songs. Like Wagon Wheels, otherwise pretty easy. It's just that E minor keeps coming around, and that's a good one to practice for the E minor. Maybe next week we'll look at Brown Eyed Girl. Brown Eyed Girl has E minor come by one time, which is kind of a merciful thing, It's a cool song. That E minor really only comes around at like one part of the song. Any other questions or thoughts about this? Oh, and Patty just shared the link for the finger guards. Thank you, Patty. I'm gonna copy that into my. If you guys want to grab that, if you're curious about it, I'm gonna grab a link here myself and put it into our class notes.
There's a couple of them there. There's one that's it comes with picks and stuff, but there's cheaper stuff too. It's like $5.99.
Cool.
I just wish that you had the chords on all the words, because once we got to the bottom there where the words were, I totally got lost.
And you know what? Fair. That's fair enough. I apologize for not having it for the whole sheet. And I think for some of these cheat sheets, I or the person who put them together chose to go for efficiency of being able to fit it on one sheet. But that is fair enough. And maybe next time we'll just do some repeating on that first verse, so that you're not left having to search. But yeah, thanks for.
I agree with that. I was just singing along in those verses because I was just lost with the chords. I agree with Patty.
Yep. Fair enough. I will take that feedback, and I'll see if I can't improve it, and if not, I won't lead you into a morass of lyrics with no chords. Okay. Let's see. We were talking. We got a little chance for our fingers maybe to rest, hopefully. And if we weren't too scared by that little E minor that kept, coming around and giving us a little bit of trouble, I think we can take a look. Let's take a look at. I'll let you guys vote. We could do I Can See Clearly Now, which is going to give us a chance to play, keep practicing that D. Let me just show it to you. We could take a look at I Can See Clearly Now, or we could take a look at Brown Eyed Girl. And I'll just show you each of them, and you can, maybe we'll take like a little class vote. I Can See Clearly is going to be cool and fun. It's going to bring in our A. I actually use an A7 for the open tuning just because it was easier to make, but you can see I've included some of those chord charts up at the very top. Open C on the right hand side and standard on the left. And this is a fun, beautiful song. I think you guys all know this one. If you can't place it, you know it. You heard it. And then our other option is to take a look at Brown Eyed Girl, which Brown Eyed Girl's got a great thing. We can use all the chords we've learned with our D, our C, there's a D7 here, which makes it a little bit different, but you can play a D in that place and it'll work all right. There is an E minor that's hiding in there, down here on this line here. A lot of chords, but it's another one that we know, and I think it'll kind of begin to make a little more sense as we play down that one. So
I also feel like Brown Eyed Girl sounded better to me with the regular D, not a D7.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys, I'm gonna let you guys vote. We got Brown Eyed Girl. We got I Can See Clearly Now. I'd like to look at one of those, and then we'll return back to some easier strumming. I'm trying to do the hard stuff. Well, I say early, but it's pretty late in our class. Do the hard stuff, get it out of the way, and then have some easy strumming to end with. So, who'd like to play Brown Eyed Girl? Let's do a hands up. Hands up for Brown Eyed Girl. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. 5. I got 5. 5 on Brown Eyed Girl. All right. Going for I Can See Clearly Now. Raising hands for I Can See Clearly Now. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have 5. It's a tiebreaker. The completely divided down the middle. We're going to have to get the vice president to vote. I'm going to flip a coin. And
We could do one this weekend, one next week.
I like that. I'm going to flip a pick. Catherine, I didn't see you vote, Catherine, so I'm going to have you call heads or tails. Just tell me which is Brown Eyed Girls, heads or tails?
Brown Eyed Girls is tails.
Okay. And it's tails. Brown Eyed Girl tonight. I Can See Clearly Now next week. Cool. Any questions before we begin Brown Eyed Girl? If you don't, we haven't talked about a D7 yet. Don't worry about playing it. We can just play it with our D chord. If you know your D7 already, by all means, please do. There's a lot of bouncing around. This does use a G instead of a G7. Anybody need a little review or reminder of any of the chords? Sue's looking for a reminder. Yep. Okay. Sue, do you want them in open tuning?
Just on the D7, maybe? It's just the 2, right? The 2.
Yeah, Miriam.
Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna scoot down here where you can see. Actually, Miriam's asking about a D7. I'm gonna just.
I have my chord chart right here, so I think it's just the 2.
Yep.
Right?
That is, you got it. It's just the 2.
Okay. Yeah, I had the chord chart.
Yep. And if you're just gonna play a regular D, that's okay. Sue, I saw a nod for some chord reminders. Remind me, Sue, are you in open tuning or standard?
Yeah, open.
Okay, cool.
Open to it, yeah.
Let me do a little reminder here for for Sue, and I'm going to do it with just my fingers, not without it. I can do a chord chart if you guys need it, but let me just try with my fingers. So, Sue, just to do a little reminder for the G, what the G looks like. The G is, instead of a G7 like this, the G was putting our, I'm using my pointer and my ring. You don't have to, you could use your pointer in your middle, but I've got 2nd fret of 3rd string and 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And that's what my G looks like. And that's kind of a tricky chord. Here, let me scooch down to the chord chart because I'm sure somebody else needs it too. G is going to be here. Preview folk rock. Oh, sorry, that's standard tuning. Here we go. If you're looking for it on that chord chart, there's our G. Our G here with these two or these two. And it's going to go from that G to our barred D chord, and then back to that G. Days when the rain came, and then back to our I think down in the hollow, that's right. Playing a new game. So I need to look at the chart, but we'll use that G there with our C or G and our D7 or D. The D is just going to be, scrolling down here again, D is just going to be barred across the 2nd fret. All right, I'm going to hop back up to Brown Eyed Girl. Thank you guys for your patience with me today as I navigate. Where is it? Here we go. Brown Eyed Girl. And I know this is kind of our most intense class musically, but let's do a little Brown Eyed Girl and then we'll end with some fun strumming. I'm going to zoom in just to make it a little easier for us to read at home, if you're reading along. Here we go. We're going to start out with a G. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, G. Hey, where did we go? To C, G. Days when the rains came, to my D, G. Down in the hollow, to my C, to my G. Playing a new game, G. Laughing in a C, running, hey, hey, G. Skipping and a jumping in the misty sea, morning fog with our hearts thumping, and you, C to D, my brown-eyed girl. Here comes the 1 E minor. I'll wait for everybody to get their E minor. We go to C. You, my D, brown-eyed girl. G, back to D, and then we're back to the verse. Whatever happened, good G, to Tuesday so slow, G, going down the old mine with a transistor radio, G, standing in the sunlight laughing, hiding behind a rainbow's wall, slipping and a sliding back to G, all along D, the waterfall with you, C, to D, brown-eyed girl, down to E minor, C, you, my D, brown-eyed girl, back to D. Do you remember when we used to sing G, sha la 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 just like that. Sha la 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 dee da, la dee da. Starting the next verse. Here we go. So hard to find my way. G. Now that I'm all alone on my own. Saw you just the other day. My, how you have grown. G. Cast my memory back there, Lord. G. Sometimes I'm overcome thinking about making love in the green grass. G. Behind the stadium with you. C to D. My brown-eyed girl. Here comes E minor to C. You, my brown-eyed girl. D. Do you remember when we used to sing sha la 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 dee da, sha la 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 dee da, sha la 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 dee da. One more time for good measure. Sha la, sha la 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 dee da, la dee da. Cool, nice. That was fun. Something like that. That E minor is waiting like a snake in the grass to get you. But if you think about it, you use your ear, you can feel it coming. On where it comes with, you know, my brown-eyed girl. You can hear it coming, da 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 da, where it wants to happen. But otherwise, you know, it's just that's the only one that's a little tricky. And this is a good one to practice your D, or if you're into it, your D7. Cool. Any thoughts or questions about Brown-Eyed Girl? Okay. You guys are doing great. I see some yawns. I know it's a cold Thursday night.
Yeah.
Just got a few more
My
minutes.
D7, my D7 threw me, shifting.
Oh yeah, is that Kathleen? Kathleen,
Yeah.
the D7 threw you a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's why on this one I think I mentioned you can play just a regular D if you're practicing that D. But if you like the sound of that D7, if you Kathleen, remind me, are you in standard or open?
Standard.
Okay. To me, the D7 is actually easier than the D in standard because I only have to use those two fingers to make the shape. And let me share both the screen and the chord chart that's on Van Morrison with and also my screen to I'm sorry, this D7 on this one, forget about that. That D7's garbage. The D7
No?
I wanted to show you as I scroll down is this chord here that really only uses two of my they use it here? Yeah, they could use it in 8 days a week. It really only uses these two fingers,
Oh, cool.
which is they're both on the second fret, but it's the
Yeah.
second, the fourth, and the second string. And in standard, if you play that as your D7, it's like, to me, it sounds just as good, and it's a lot easier for me.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, cool. I'm gonna stop the screen again, and let's do a little request. We got time for a song or two. So, is there something out of our folk pop rock songbook, or maybe even something out of another, maybe our Gitsy 50 Anchor songbook from way back when that you guys feel like strumming tonight? Who's got a request from a moldy oldie of old? Any requests over on your side, Pam? No. Cool.
How about Weemaway?
Weemaway, yes. And did I send you guys a chart for Weem Away last week.
I just have it.
You
I
just
just have it from the anchor song thing.
50 anchor songs. Perfect. I'm sorry, I was getting it confused with another class. So I'll go to my 50 anchor songs. The Lion Sleeps Tonight. I love it. Classic. Classic shuffle strum.
Would it be possible for you to send out the anchor songs?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure I got it from a previous class, but I'm sure I don't know where it is.
I would love to. Let me make a little note of that for you guys. I'm gonna send out 50 anchor songs. And there's a couple of different versions of 50 anchor songs floating around. But I'll send you the one that I have and the one I use. And then the last song in it is actually this one, Weem Away. I'm gonna do a little zoom in on Weem Away.
You know, quite a few years ago, way before COVID, they played at the Glendale Cruise Night car show. I think it's the Tokens. I believe that was the name of
Yeah, that was the
name
group.
of is that the name of the group?
Yeah.
Anyway, they actually played the real Tokens, not a tribute. They actually played at maybe 2018, years ago, at the Glendale car show here in Glendale or out in Glendale, and many years ago, and it was really neat to see them in person perform this. So yeah,
Very, very cool. They must have been distinguished old gentlemen by the time they were singing.
yeah, this was like 2017, 18. This is a long time ago, but when they actually could afford, actual bands. Now they do tributes, but
Yeah.
so it was really neat. I just wanted to comment on that.
Oh, I love it. Thanks for sharing. This is Weem Away or Lion Sleeps Tonight, and we're gonna use a shuffle strum. Classic C, F, C, and G7. Give our fingers a little break. They know what to do on this one. And we'll get it going. 1 and 2 and ready and strum with me. C, F, C, G7. If that feels good, we'll go a little faster with C, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 4, G7. Little Weem Away. Little Weem Away. Oh, 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 one more time. Oh, Weem Away. 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 In the jungle now. In the jungle. The mighty jungle. The lion sleeps tonight. Oh, in the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Oh, 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 Weem Away, 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 oh, Weem Away. G7 now to C away, oh, Weem Away, F, Weem Away, Weem Away, C, Weem Away, Weem Away, G7. Near the village, the peaceful village, the lion sleeps tonight. Near the village, the quiet village, the lion sleeps tonight. Back to the chorus now. Oh, Weem Away, 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 oh, Weem Away. Third verse now. Hush, my darling, don't fear, my darling. The lion sleeps tonight. Hush, my darling, don't fear, my darling. The lion sleeps tonight. Back to the chorus now. Oh, Weem Away, oh, Weem Away, F, Weem Away, oh, Weem Away, C, Weem Away, Weem Away, G7 away, Weem Away, Weem Away, oh, Weem Away, Weem Away, oh, Weem everybody. Good request. Always makes me feel good. That song always makes me feel good. It's just the perfect use of that shuffle strum and our 3 chords. I know we got into the weeds with some more complicated songs tonight, and I hope that there's some room for you to grow and expand into them, but also don't forget that those 3 chord bangers are like that's our meat and potatoes. That's our bread and our butter. And Pam's got a comment here I'll read for you guys because I think it's great. Great request. Talking about I read we're going on a lion hunt a few weeks ago. Yeah, going on a lion hunt. This would be great to get along with that. Going on a lion hunt. Great song for feeling the beat. Jumping back up to some a comment too. I think Pam commented on doing zoom 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 with scarves, like colored scarves, and then to ball it up and throw them up for like the blast off, which I thought was a great idea. You can check that out in the chats.
I zoom 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 for like a transition too. So like zoom zoom zoom, we're going to the moon. Zoom zoom zoom, we're going to the moon. Come over the rocket, whatever, right? And I'll call one kid's name. So zoom zoom zoom. Angie's going to the moon in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Angie, blast off to the next activity.
Nice. I love that. I love that. Cool. All right. We have enough time to strum a little fast one if you want to, or if the request is just to call it early and get, ourselves on to the next part of the night. I understand that too. What do you guys think? What do you guys want?
Maybe one more?
Yeah, one more. Who's got a request? Who has something that they want to hear or practice?
How about the ants come marching in?
Oh, the ants. Okay, this is a good one. We're going to use our A minor. So I'm going to pull up a copy of Smart Start's Ukulele. I know we haven't really been looking too much at our Smart Start in this class, but Smart Start has got what I need for Ants Go Marching. Are you ready? Okay. Here we go. And I'm going to share it, and we'll see where we get with it. So if you need a little reminder about the A minor chord, and you are in, and you happen to be in, I'm going to scoot down here really quick. If you happen to be in open tuning and you need your A minor, there's that little visual reminder. If you're in standard tuning, and you don't remember the A minor, it's really easy. You just take off your ring finger, or whatever finger you've got on the first string, and you just play the second fret of the fourth string, which I'm holding up right here. A minor is just a 1-finger chord in standard tuning. I hope that gets you up and running with an A minor, and then we're going to look here at the Ants Go Marching. Nice little down strum, kind of a marching sort of thing, right? Just like Johnny Comes Marching Home. Again, hurrah, hurrah. And we'll strum. 1, 2, 3, 4. The ants go marching one by one. Hurrah, see, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching G7 by one. The little one stops to suck his thumb, and they all go marching down to the ground to get out of the rain. Boom, boom, boom. The ants go marching 2 by 2. Hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching 2 by 2. Hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching 2 by 2. The little one stops to tie his shoe, and they all go marching down to the ground to get out of the rain. Boom, boom, boom. And then we'll leave it there. Maybe a big ending on our A minor chord. Nice. looked at the clock and realized we probably didn't have time for 3x3 or 4x4. Good request. I like that one, Catherine. I like that it's in a kind of a more minor mode. It feels different than a lot of the songs we've been singing. Any questions about that A minor or about the Enskommarchen? Cool. All right. I'm happy to answer any other questions you guys have if you want to stick around after the class. But thank you all for being here on Thursday night. I'll send out a recap. Wishing you a great week ahead. Yeah, we'll see you next Thursday.
If nobody
Thank
has
you.
a question,
Right.
I have a weird question.
Yeah. Cool.
I never play the D7 with the one that you just showed us. That's on 8 days a week, right? With just the two fingers. I always played the barring the second fret and then whatever the third fret on the last string there.
Yep.
So I tried the way that you showed us, and they sound different. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. They're different.
Okay.
You got a good ear, Angie. They are different. They're different voicing of the chord, and for anybody who's you guys don't have to stick around, but if you want to nerd out about this a little bit,
Yeah.
what Angie's talking about is like there's another way to play D7, which they show in Brown Eyed Girl, which is to bar it, and then to add like a finger here on the third fret of the first string, right? That's the D7 you're used to playing. And that has all of the notes of the D7 chord. Do, mi, sol. And then up here on the top is that seventh. Do, mi, sol, te, whatever they call it, But if I was to play the D7 that I showed you guys, this is my cheater D7. And it goes like this. If I were to play the cheater version, where I'm just playing this string and this string, the second fret and on the fourth string and on the second string. What I'm missing now, okay, so I've got my sol, do, mi, sol. So I'm missing the root, actually. The D is no longer in that version of the chord. So before, it's a D chord, right? How can I take the D? How can I take the D out of that? That doesn't make any sense at all. But lo and behold, I went and I did it. But in the context of ukulele, when I play this in place of it, it works just as well. If I was like singing, I'm trying to think of a context where I'd use my D7, Hey, where do we go? Back to days when the rains came. Sounds good to me. Down in the hollow. But it's very different than playing it like this way. Playing a new game. That's a much thicker chord. It's got all four tones of the chord in it. Has a whole different feeling. This one has the notes that matter, I guess is what it says. Like it's enough to turn it into a D7 chord, but it doesn't have all of the notes of the chord.
Cool. Awesome.
So
thank you for explaining.
I know, without getting fully into like a whole music theory thing, yeah, you're right though, Angie. It sounds weird because it's a D7 chord without a D in it, but given the nature of the ukulele, it works,
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Great question though. I'm just lazy. I hate making those bar chords with like the, it's just too much work for me. Cool. Anybody else have any other questions while we're at it? I think we're looking good. All right. Nice work, guys. Oh, Maria. Yeah. Oh, you're just saying thank you. Yeah. Thank you and goodbye. Of course. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you next time.